When I was growing up, we had about three names for liberal people. We had Democrat, screaming liberal, and do-gooder. And of course, do-gooder was the worst thing you could call anyone. And Democrat just meant people who worked in factories, and screaming liberals usually referred to people who were in politics, just raved and ranted about everything from purely a political perspective. I recently got in a little stickety wicket with one of our viewers, commented on my use of the term superlib, which I guess I think more of as an endearment, but he pointed out that he was somewhat offended by it and didn't really care to have any label put upon him as a liberal person or as any kind of person. And that's right. He's right about that. But I just found it somewhat amusing because on the conservative side, wow, we get the deplorables and the election deniers and the domestic terrorists. We get all the good labels. I'd be happy to be someday nominated as a super deplorable. Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. Each week at Conservative Coffee Hour, we gather and talk about the news of the week and important topics. And of course, we're coming out of the midterm elections and many promising signs. Even though the media, the news, and the pundits seem to just want to spin everything in a different direction. But it's kind of funny how when the conservative people win, it's not recognized and it's completely dismissed. And I've been so surprised by many of my friends who are really down and have really bought into the narrative and drank the Kool-Aid. So it's kind of a cautionary tale. If you're one of those people, might to take a step back and take a look at what has been accomplished. And what's been accomplished is the red wave is, in many ways, the idea that our party, the Republican Party, has been infiltrated by people like us, these election deniers and the deplorables and the domestic terrorists, people who are actually interested in the Constitution and people's rights. And those people got elected. They got elected to office, and in the House, we're going to be able to fire Nancy Pelosi, which I think is so huge, and I can't believe that people are not dancing over in the street over that. Nancy, I don't really know what her deal was, but it did occur to me recently that her job was to be Speaker of the House. She wasn't the Speaker of the Democrat Party. She was supposed to be speaking for the entire House, all the people in that body. And I do hope that when a new speaker is elected, that after that person is elected, they will put aside the mantle of Democrat or Republican and simply do the job. And I think that's what we're interested in. We're interested in people actually doing their job. This week, President Trump gave his speech from Mar-a-Lago, and I think many of us think it probably wasn't the speech that he intended to give or wanted to give, but it's a speech he provided. And there were many terrific nuggets in there. And one of those nuggets was the idea of reclaiming the corridors of power, that the corridors of power are inhabited by people, bureaucrats, and I guess people want to use the term deep state. But, in my childhood, it was the idea of the bureaucracy that was entrenched. And even in those times, people said that it really didn't matter who was elected president or representative because the behind the scenes people who are actually running the machine of things really are entrenched, and they could be entrenched for good or for bad. But I think we suspect that's probably not always for the best. They might be intending to do good, to be a do-gooder, but somehow all these other things they need to accomplish first somehow get in the way. President Trump talked about reclaiming the corridors of power so that we, the people, can inhabit them and actually represent the people instead of the bureaucracy. President Trump also mentioned the idea of term limits, which is that's a good idea, interesting idea, something we could actually talk about instead of scream at each other about it, something to be debated. We don't hear much. Actually, we don't hear anything about campaign finance reform anymore. That was a good topic, and it informed the idea that there is money moving behind candidates and behind issues that influences and directs policy probably in a way that has more to do with money than it does to do with us. So the idea of term limits was good as a conversation we all can have, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, and also the idea of insider trading. Insider trading is against the law, except if you're in Congress. And because of that, people in Congress just never talk about that. They just look the other way. And I guess that's the difference between something being illegal and immoral. I was so struck years ago. It was a wake up moment for me. I was never a fan of Martha Stewart, but it caught my attention when they hauled Martha Stewart away for insider trading. And what was the insider trading? The insider trading was that her stockbroker got wind that one of her stocks was going to be tanking soon, and he just wanted her to know that. And Martha, I mean, natural reaction. Oh my God! Like, sell that freaking stock. Was that malicious? Did it harm people? Was it negligent on the stockbroker's part? I mean, we could debate all those things, but the way they came down on Martha Stewart was shocking and startling. I mean, Martha Stewart's mission in life was to bring beauty into the world. She was more interested in placemats than she was with insider trading. But at the same time, Congress, Nancy Pelosi, all these different politicians can cash in on inside knowledge of what's going on behind the scenes and how it's going to affect their stocks. And I don't think any of us have a problem with people making money or living well, but the spirit of that is not good. I think that in many ways, a lot of us are in a spot right now where we're just trying to sort through all the information and conflicting narratives and see where we are. It's sometimes hard to see where we are in things, but if you look closely, take a step back, you can see things are moving forward. We're permeating the public psyche with the idea that something is terribly wrong. We all abide and respect our government. We're all patriots, but it's been subverted. It's been subverted by the people who are actually holding these offices. They're actually working against us. And I mean, is that conspiracy theory or is that just rational observation? I think we can see that something is amiss, whether you're a screaming liberal or a deplorable or a do-gooder. Also, when I was growing up, I was one of my favorite commercials was the Union Sewers commercial about union workers and how they're when you look for the union label when you're buying a shirt, blouse, or dress, no, it shows to you that we're able to make it right here in the USA. Growing up, as I said, my idea of Democrats were people who worked in factories, which was totally fine. They were the workaday people, and they supported the Democrat Party because they saw the Democrat Party as supporting them, people who were actually out in the world doing the good work. And we don't hear the union sower commercial anymore. We don't hear the drumbeat about supporting unions because, in fact, the Democrat Party stopped supporting the unions on paper a long time ago. They give them lip service, but they really don't support American industry or the American worker, and that's ironic. In many ways, Trump's speech from Mar-a-Lago was a cautionary tale of where we are, and also provided hope and inspiration of where we need to go. Another important thing that was included in the message was the idea that we can all be critics and we all can be naysayers. And President Trump said, in many ways, he sees himself as not being a critic. He's offering solutions and ideas and accomplishments. And I think he's calling on us to champion these causes and these ideas and take them to our little circle, whatever our circle is, whether it's super lib, the deplorable, or screaming liberal, like whatever our circle is. And we can take a page from our friend on the internet who said that probably the name calling and labels, even the union label, probably are not helpful at this time. We need to have a conversation as patriots, as fellow citizens, and navigate our way in a rational, sane, and loving way through this challenging time. If you would like to join us at Conservative Coffee Hour is every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.